Danger with it. Okay, so I'd love to welcome you all. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Wednesday night. And we're going to cover some pretty incredible opportunities and technology that can really be life-changing for a lot of us. We've all witnessed some pretty incredible transformations over the last 2 years. But tonight, my beautiful co-host Fiona is going to cover some of this wellness technology. We're going to hear what this technology is doing for people, someone in our community. And then in addition to that, we're going to shift gears and I'm going to share a little bit more about the wealth opportunity should you feel inclined. Now, just so that you know, they're not necessarily interlinked. So if you just want to claim your health, totally okay. But if there is something burning inside of you that you want to claim your wealth, there is an opportunity tonight. So don't be offended if we start going into that laneway. But really the hero of the show is the X39. So I'm going to hand over to Fiona, who is an ex-nurse. She is a coach. She lives in Port Stephens, and she is an international best-selling author of more than one book. And she's just a rock star and lit up for this technology and helping others. I'm really blessed to be doing this alongside you.
Thank you, Sally Ann, and lovely to meet you all in your little Zoom boxes. Good evening, good morning, good day, wherever you are in the world. So, Sally Ann, if you're happy to share the presentation, we'll kick it off. And just while I'm looking at some of you, while Sally Ann's getting that ready, hands up if you haven't yet patched. So a few people. Oh. All right, so the question that we ask everyone who we know isn't already patching is, have you been patched yet? There are some people who have tried this product a while ago who have let it go, who maybe weren't sort of connected to the right people with the right information to help them get started with this incredible technology. But certainly if you haven't been patched already, you want to give it a go because this is absolutely life-changing on so many levels. Thanks, Elaine. So where did this all start? With this incredible human, David Schmidt, who's the CEO and inventor of X39, amongst other products. He has actually, I think it's clocked 200 patents now. And to get a patent takes a whole lot of work, a whole lot of research, and you don't get it unless you can prove that the product you're putting forward for the patent actually does what it claims to do. So he's got 200 of them. That's incredible. He is a scientist and an inventor, so he's not just part of the company, he is the company. He's the start and the middle and the end and more. He specializes, particularly the last 10 years or so, in age reversing. We all know that, more and more people around the world are wanting to live better for longer, so this technology is enabling people to do that. In 2008, David focused his attention on stem cell research because we know how important stem cells are. We all began as a tiny little clump of stem cells, and those stem cells turned into all the different parts that make up our human body. His recent patent for the X39 took 10 years and $4.5 million to bring it to market. So it wasn't just a fly-by-night sort of great idea. It's something that he put his heart and soul and money and effort and energy into. And we get to benefit. Thanks, Sally Ann. So as I said, patented technology means that the product does exactly what it claims to do. And we know that the X39 is all about embodying our own ability to be able to increase our copper peptides, which then activate our stem cells, improve our energy levels, it increases our antioxidants, our collagen, all sorts of amazing things that enable us to be healthier and more well for as long as we're batching. Thanks, Eliane. So why the X39 stem cell activation patch? Because when we are born and we are before we're born, when we're conceived and we're a little clump of stem cells, and we develop our human bodies, our bodies are growing and developing for all of those younger years of our life. But when we get to our mid-30s, where we're fully developed, our stem cells start to drop off in quantity and quality. And so the fewer stem cells we have, the faster we age and the slower we heal. So there's hundreds of millions of people experiencing aging, and in reality, from the moment we're born, we start to age, but it happens more quickly once we get to our 30s, when only half of our stem cells are active. And then by the time we're 60 odd, which is when we notice in ourselves and others that things are starting to go south, get wrinkly, get weaker, hurt more and ache more, and we're just not as agile and functional as we once were when we were younger. And that's because our stem cells are, as I said, fewer. There's fewer of them there to be able to help us heal and regenerate. Thanks, Elliot. So how does this amazing X39 patch work? It's a proprietary form of phototherapy. It's patented nanocrystal technology, which sounds really quite sciencey, and it is, but it's also really simple. So patented, as I said, means it does what it says it's going to do. Nanocrystal, if you break it up, nano is just really, really, really tiny. Crystal is a structure, it's a structure made of different things to turn it into something crystalline in nature. And in the case of the X39 patch, those crystals are made up of just sugars, salts, amino acids that form like a lattice structure, which enables the patch to work like a mirror, which then reflects our own body's light to activate it. So once the patch is on or near your skin, our own light being emitted from our bodies gets reflected back. That is the only thing that goes back into our body, is our own light. So it's non-transdermal. It doesn't put any drugs, chemicals, or stimulants inside of our body, because there are none in the patch even to do that. And therefore it's very non-invasive. So we're not ingesting anything, we're not consuming anything, we're not absorbing anything. All we're doing is being benefited by our own light being reflected back to ourselves. Thanks, Sally-Ann. So the benefits are endless. If you could talk to 1 million people around the world, you would probably get 1 million different testimonials of how X39 has helped them in particular. But these are the things that have been demonstrated to benefit most people, if not all. So increased strength, and I'll just give you a few examples along the way. I've been going to the gym for quite a while now, and once I started to patch, I was able to lift more weights than I thought was humanly possible for my body. It's made me a lot stronger. Reduced inflammation. I used to have chronic, pain in my Achilles tendons. They were quite sensitive, so I'd get up and I'd feel like I was walking like an old lady when I got out of bed because of inflammation in that area, which I don't have anymore. Increased stamina. Once I'm out of bed, I'm full steam ahead till I hit the sack at night. Energy and vitality. For those of you who rely on the cup of coffee or a bit of chocolate to get you through the day, especially around that sort of mid-afternoon, most people who are patching find that they can just keep going without needing to rely on that quick fix or energy boost to get them through the rest of the day. Mental clarity is incredible. I know when I started, a lot of people who do a lot of different things feel like they're spinning plates, lots and lots of plates with all these things to do, which I used to, but it felt like a big cloud above my head. But since patching, yes, I'm still spinning a lot of plates, but they are much clearer. I can focus more on the individual things that I'm doing rather than feeling overwhelmed. Restored muscle and skeletal conditions can happen as a result of wearing the X39 because it's repairing and regenerating. So whenever we get an injury, particularly with our muscles or bones, the stem cells are going to target those areas, especially if it's an acute injury, to help us repair and heal. Improvement of sleep. I tell people I sleep like the dead now. So once my head hits the pillow, I'm out for the count. I dream more and I wake up more refreshed because my quality of sleep has gotten a lot better, and that happens for many people on the patch. Improved skin appearance. So I sleep like the dead, but I used to wake up in the morning because I'd often sleep just on the one side at night, and I'd wake up with these crease marks on my cheeks. I don't know if anyone else has gotten that. but I'd be doing like this in the morning because I wanted these little creases to go. And that was my first real sign that I thought, geez, I'm starting to age and I don't like this. But probably 3 or 4 months after patching, I noticed that I don't even get those crease marks anymore. They just don't happen because my collagen has increased and my skin quality and integrity is a lot better, and I have lost fine lines and wrinkles. And a beautician, and I'm not one to go to beauticians, but I did see one because a friend gave me a voucher, and she thought I was 10 years younger than I am because of the quality of my skin. So go X39, I say. So what we're getting as a result of all of this is we're getting an optimal state of health and well-being on all levels. So physical, mental, and social. I mean, how social is this hanging out together on a Zoom on a Wednesday night? So, but we know that LifeWave products are not meant to diagnose, treat, cure any illnesses or conditions. All we're doing is sharing our experience and other people's experience of what's happened to them once they've put that beautiful little patch on their body. Now, of course, like anything that needs to be tested and proven to work to get a patent, there has to be studies. And this is one of them that was done by David Schmidt on a woman who was 77 years old who placed the X39 on the back of her neck. And she was scanned 3 different times. At session 1, you can see on the left there, there's a lot of red, which indicates inflammation in her brain that she was having scanned. And when our brains are inflamed, they're not working very well. We can have brain fog, memory loss, all sorts of things because we have less coherence in our brain. In other words, the different parts of our brain aren't talking to the other parts very well at all. So at session 2, after only 3 weeks on X39, where's the red? Can't really see it because she's got much less inflammation. So therefore, improved brain coherence. And in someone like that, she was probably saying, yes, I feel clearer in my head, less foggy, better memory, things like that. Session 3, there is no inflammation at all. 6 weeks later after patching, she's had a complete turnaround and she would have much, much better brain coherence after that. So it's like going from having a frantic, messy, cloudy brain to one that is functioning a whole lot better. And what I love about this is when we think better and when we are less foggy and we are clearer, it impacts our whole life because we are able to make decisions better, be less reactive to things. We generally feel like better overall if we can function better with a nice healthy brain. Thanks, Eliane. So, of course, there's been lots of long-term results of using X39, and these case studies can be found on thisisinfo.com. So within the first few days, and this is one of the things I love about X39, the moment it's on your skin, it starts to work. So within the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset. And we know we have many, many thousands and thousands and thousands of genes, but to have 4,000 already reset in a few days is just remarkable. Like, try and do that any other way. I don't know. Within 6 weeks, as per the last slide, our brain becomes balanced, which is super fantastic. Within 3 months, as evidenced by my less wrinkly cheeks, our collagen is increased. And collagen is not just a vanity thing. Collagen makes up 30% of the protein in your body, which is also in all of your joints, it's right through our body. So it's not just about looking better, but it's about feeling more flexible and, having better joints. So that's fantastic. And within 6 months, it's been proven that our heart reverses in age. So all of those are long-term results, and you can only imagine what will happen if you keep patching and keep patching. We're not going to stop healing. We will just keep healing whenever we patch. So it's not anti-aging, it's actually age reversing. And there are plenty of people who patch who have had their biological age tested, and they are biologically getting younger. So while we might be getting older on the calendar, in our bodies, there is the ability to get younger. So I'm all for that. So how to wear X39? This is the simplest thing, this little patch. All you need to do is take it out of the envelope or sleeve that it comes in when it arrives in the mail. You take the backing off. It's just like a Band-Aid. It's got a couple of bits of paper on the back. You just peel that off and you pop it. You can put it on the back of your neck or just under your belly button, just like the image in the slide there. But as I say to people, you can put the patch in those spots or you can stick it where it hurts. So if you have a sore hip, you might want to try either of these spots, or you might want to try it on your hip, because it's our skin or our body that's reflecting the light, which our skin covers every square centimetre of us. So it can go anywhere. It's just those two spots were what was used for the purpose of the study. And they're also on major meridian lines where our energy flows abundantly. So great place to start. So you wear your patch by putting it on in the morning and taking it off 12 hours later. That's all you got to do. And in between that time, drink plenty of good quality water, pop in a little bit of electrolytes or Celtic sea salt or something that's going to help the water get into your cells, not just around your cells. When you take the patch off at night, you can just simply throw it away. For those of you who have pooches or cats or sick plants, a lot of people, rather than just waste what may be left in the patch, pop it on, sharing is caring, pop it on your dog or your cat. And there's been plenty of animals around the world that have benefited from X39 leftovers. Then in the morning, all you need to do is repeat it. So pop on a new patch, drink plenty of good quality water, take it off 12 hours later. You can wear more than one at a time, although you don't need to. But some people who have more acute problems, who may have been patching for a while and have something flare up, they might double patch, but not many people do. But the choice is yours. And really the most important thing is getting to know and listen to your body and respond to your body's own calling and needs. And yes, drink plenty of water. Thank you. So X39 is like, it's mind-blowingly sophisticated, but it's so simple to explain. Here's a patch, stick it on your skin, drink well, take it off 12 hours later. That's it. That's not rocket science. That is life-changingly simple for anyone. And I'm sure for those who are multilingual, it's very easy to convert those sort of simple instructions to anyone around the world. But we know it works. And we have someone here tonight who is going to share with us how it has benefited her. So I'd like to ask Rosemary to unmute and we'll spotlight you and pop you on. And after Rosemary, I'll hand it back to Sally Ann. Rosemary, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, lovely. There you are. Thank you. Take it away.
Okay, well, I've been patching now 2 years and 1 month. Wow. I know, and has that 2 years gone past quickly? So I found out about the patches through a friend of mine called Tracy, and she wasn't patching herself. She just seen a video, I think it was Michael Jaco from the US, and she'd sent it on to me because she knew I was in a bad way, and she knew that I was searching for peptides. And so I couldn't find any other kind of peptides in Australia at the time. So I just jumped at it and found someone local called Taryn who I could actually get some off. So I just Sally Ann sent me lots of information, and I was watching all of it that I could because I wasn't doing a lot more than lying around in bed most days. So what was happening with me, I'd reacted to Roundup that was being sprayed in our suburb about 4 solid days. They would spray every few weeks, and it set off my thyroid, and I got sort of dementia-like symptoms, couldn't string a sentence together, anxiety, as well as the thyroid anxiety. And basically we had to sell our house and leave the area. So I started looking for what I could do when we moved into our new house. And the patches came at the right time. And it took about 10 days for me to get my energy back. And so I'd gone from spending sort of lots of the time in bed because I couldn't sleep at night, to, having energy to get through the day and then gradually getting into a better sleep pattern. I stopped, within 3 weeks, my anxiety had gone away, and I could feel my brain was definitely coming back online. Um, and, I don't know. I would have loved to have had one of those images taken of my brain because it would have been really red. Um, what else did I notice? With all that, getting my brain back and getting my energy back, that was the main thing. But I also had a really swollen knee that I'd had MRIs on, and the swelling had been there for about 10 months. And it was like, once it got a hold on my brain and the serious things like my heart rate, variability, I'd be on beta blockers when I was reacting to chemicals. When that was all settled down, it worked on the knee. And then, all of a sudden I just didn't have pain and I didn't have swelling. So it's like a totally different knee now, which is great. Yeah, what else? I I just, I kept thinking, "Oh, I can't wait to get to 6 months because that's, I'm 61 now. So, that will be we'll see how good I am." But then once you get to 6 months and you feel so good, I just thought, well, there's a lot more it can work on, and so I just kept going to the 12 months. And then you think, well, I come in contact with chemicals every day, and I am chemically sensitive. So my body needs help with detoxing all the time. So, I stick to the X39. I had added Aeon to help my nervous system the second month, and I think that was amazing. And then the glutathione to keep my body detoxing all the toxins that I've come up against. And then of course the X49, when I got the energy to go back to the gym, muscles. So I don't know. That's probably it.
It's so powerful. I just remember those first few moments when we were connected, and I remember where you were at. I remember what you were going through. I remember you sharing so beautifully and so vulnerably with me. And to our more recent conversations where you're taking up, you're saying yes to 27 hours at work.
Yeah.
And, there's a balance when you've come out of a chronic condition of keeping the wheels on. But there's no way that you would have been in a position to do that when we spoke 2 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't even speak.
I know. It's so to watch your transformation, and even though, there's moments where we all take on too much, and then that's a little gentle reminder that, hey, I need to establish some boundaries. But to see you go through that, thank you so much for sharing. Rosemary, you're such a legend, and you've just got such a heart for helping others win too. So
thank you.
Amazing. So good. And so we're going to shift gears a little bit. And look, when this technology first came across my sphere of influence, it was really an answer to a prayer. My husband was suffering with chronic lower back pain, and we were on our farm. We had a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, and we were just looking for a solution because the wheels were falling off. And I didn't start patching for me. I was just really wanting a solution to see my husband win, really, because I had never seen him like that. And if you've witnessed someone with a chronic health concern or pain, like they are not themselves. They are doing everything that they can just to maintain their demeanor of managing that pain, as opposed to experiencing joy and all the other things. So my husband was a one patch wonder, and as a functional nutritionist / biohacker in the health and wellness space, that really got my attention. I was just like, what have I got my hands on here? What is this magnificent technology? And I didn't want to do any more. I didn't want to do it as a business. I really did not. I really resisted. But what I kept witnessing was those transformations like Rosemary sharing. Now, whether or not they were 1 day, 3 months, 6 months down the track, I was getting all this feedback from clients that were using nutritional therapy as their wheelhouse, but weren't getting these shifts to people that did bring these patches in. We're doing the other deeper work with lifestyle and nutrition, and we're just getting these transformations that even I couldn't explain. So there is an opportunity behind this. I'm just going to flick over screens, and we're going to go a little bit more into that, because I don't know what's keeping you awake at night, but you might just be in a position where you're like, you know what, I just really like helping people, and I feel as though I would naturally share based on what I've heard. And if you're that person, you can definitely get some more information from thisisitinfo.com. If you go to the homepage and you scroll down, there is a full doctors panel, why they use the technology. And keep in mind that this hasn't been in Australia for that long, really. It's in its infancy. Whereas in the US, it has been in the US since 2020 when the technology was patented. It took 2.5 years to come to Australia. So we were early adopters, all of us, that sort of got onto it purely by fluke. And just by our friends, my beautiful friend Misha ringing up and saying, look, I've had bursitis in my knee, please try this. My beautiful friend Tessa, who is Misha's friend, and our mutual friend who'd had excellent outcomes with sciatica. And so I was open. And to be honest, I thought there's a money back guarantee. So if anything didn't shift, I knew I could just say, oh, well, too bad, so sad. I supported you, dear friend, but, you know, we didn't get the shifts, but we did. And my own transformation occurred. Now, this is an exciting organisation because in the last 4 years, they have experienced 3,000% growth. Now, I don't know about you, but as a small business owner, 10% growth is life-changing, but 3,000% is catastrophic. And it's a 20-year-old company, so it's not an organisation that hasn't had infrastructure and integrity. David Schmidt started it. He actually started for the US government, for the Navy SEALs, to keep them awake, that not on amphetamine. So you can look into David Schmidt's history, and it's on that website. We are now in over 75 countries legally. So hence the beginning of this call, we had people from around the world connecting and communicating in their native tongue. And it's not another Me Too product. So this is patented. No one else can create it, even though China's having a crack at duplicating it fraudulently. We have, you know, it's not weight loss, it's not skincare, it's not supplements, it's not something else that people have to chew or have 10 minutes before meals, after meals, before bed, you know, where they're not seeing the shifts. It's something that you peel off, you pop on your body, and away you go. In 2021, this organisation was at $20 million in turnover. And as you can see, the growth, we just closed out 2024 at 600 million. And guess what? We're doing $1 billion this year. So by the end of 2025, we're doing $1 billion. So whether or not you want to join the business or not, that's okay, because we're still going to do it. And I don't mean that facetiously, but it seems to have like this energy of its own. We have continuously 2 years running been voted the #1 business for home. So you'll hear the word side hustle a little bit, and it's only a side hustle if that's the intention that you put behind it. If you put a full hustle instead of a side hustle intention, you will get a full hustle income. And I have friends, very dear friends that I've mentioned, that have had life-changing income from this organization, and almost pinch yourself moments of freedom. But, you know, because when good people have wealth, they do good things. And we know that, right? Like they're tithing, they're changing lives, they're supporting family, they're lighting people's dreams up. And this organization and our team has created over 247 millionaires in the last 3 years. So if that's you want a side income or you want to be a millionaire, it's really your choice. And I'm by no stretch making an income claim, because I don't know what your work ethic is. I don't know who you know, and I don't know how teachable or coachable you are. But I can tell you right now that we have some of the most incredible leadership in this organization, with a vision for truly changing humanity with health and with wealth, which is just so exciting. This is David Schmidt. This is Steve and Gina Merritt. So they are basically we've got a product, if you wish, and then we've got a training platform of leadership and growth and personal development, so that you can lift your own lid on your belief and on your skills, because this is a new business. If I went and opened up a service station tomorrow, I don't know anything about fuel. I don't know where you buy it. I don't know how you sell it. I don't know what the margins are. I don't know where to buy or order or advertise, or I don't know who I'm paying my rent to. I don't know how to get the Bowsers fixed. So all of those things are new skills, and it's okay to be learning and in a learning phase. And the organization really rewards us for helping you learn. So you have that companionship, and you have our leadership, and you have our support. And we were awarded the #1 growth company now 2 years running for direct selling news. And so that's 2024 and 2025. This is Meredith. She is the president of the organization. And I had breakfast with her in Vietnam on a fully paid for trip. And I said to her, geez, it must be really hard to not want to be a brand partner with Lifeway. And she said, Sally Ann, within 5 years, I'm going to make this the best direct selling business model and organization in the world, and then I'll join as a brand partner. And I just thought, isn't it interesting? Because we can all have fear that we've missed out on the right time, but she's already framing her mindset that I'm going to do all the work internally, set up the systems, and then I'm going to join as a brand partner. So I don't know what is keeping you awake at night. I don't know if you've got family that's unwell and you're just sick of going to work and having to be away from them, that you really want to support them in their time of chronic condition. I don't know if you're doing 80-hour weeks like I did in my former career as a real estate owner. I don't know whether or not freedom for you is just going where you want, when you want, with who you want. Is it more security because the job that you've got's flaky or your boss is an ass? Or is it travel? You want some more travel and you've never been on a holiday for the last 5 years because you can't afford it because the cost of living is crippling, and you just want to go on a holiday. Well, this organization sent me on 2 trips, and I'm just about to go to Florida next month as well, which is highly exciting. So better health, we know this, right? Like, this is a patented product that has thousands of people in Australia and New Zealand using it. So we know health is going to be an outcome. The only variable is time. Right, so time. We generally suggest 1 month each decade of life. Or do you just want to smash your debt because it's compounding and you don't want to pay it off over 30 years because your average repayments will be 4 times the actual cost of the debt to begin with? Whatever your driver is, we can meet you at that place and we will help you. So we've got incentive trips. The compensation plan is, let's just say, very, very generous. So there's multiple ways to get remunerated, but let's just say that I meet my beautiful friend Fiona, and then I meet with Rosemary, and I pop Fiona here, Rosemary here, and then I've got two, my stepdad and my cousin, right? And they're all going to share. They're going to tell some people about the technology, and not because they're salespeople, but because they're going to look different. They haven't got the sore knee that they had. And so people are going to say, hey, man, you don't have that sore knee, or hey, you look really well, or hey, your age is reversed. What are you doing with your skin? You look fantastic. And so as they do that, you're going to point to your patch and go this, and you're going to send them the website. You're going to let them do the research. So you're not selling them anything, you're just sharing the information and seeing whether or not it's right for them. But this is one of the ways to get paid, and there's up to $25,000 US a week from this. Now, this is not an income claim, right? So that could take you 3 years, could take you 5 years, or you could be an absolute rock star ball out of the gate and you could do it in 6 months like some people have. There's no pressure. But what the organization does do, which is non-typical for me, because in all the companies that I was a boss, I never got trained for training someone, and I never got trained for training their people. Whereas in this organization, they really love to let us win when I share with Fiona, and then I help Rosemary learn and grow. Hey, this is where you find the information, or hey, have you checked out this cool podcast, or hey, did you see David Schmidt talk about Alzheimer's and dementia on the Regenerative Health Summit with the doctor's talks? Like, this is when you're sharing these tidbits and things that are factual and informative and exciting, you're going to get remunerated. And that's really exciting, because let's just say that Fiona's making $1,000 a week. All of a sudden, I'm creating 250 just from sharing with Fiona. And let's just say Rosemary's making 500 a week. Well, I'm going to get paid 20% of that for helping Rosemary. And then let's just say that somebody else gets invited by those people. I'm going to be remunerated by that as well. So it's a real leveraged and compounded system. It is not a pyramid scheme. A pyramid scheme is totally illegal in Australia, and doesn't have the exchange of a product. We are exchanging a product, and we're not making a promissory note that you're going to make $1 billion. We are selling goods. This is a consumer-based model. You are buying product in exchange for your money. Now, there's 3 ways to get started, and this is pretty exciting because this works out just over 500. This is about 900 and something AUD with GST and shipping. This is about 3,1111, I think, or 3,111. Now, if you're serious and you see this information and go, wow, I feel it, I'm resonating, I'm vibing, I think this is what I need to be doing with my life, I've also got a couple of family members, well, then you really want to come in at this package. And this is what Fiona and myself have done. It's the most cost-effective per patch. So if you're building the business, this really is where you want to be, not because people are going to make the most commission, but it's actually going to position you best for winning. There is an advanced pack, and then there's a core pack if you're just wanting to trial the product. Now, it's a subscription model, just like Netflix, etc., where you're replenishing your stock. And when you do that, you're pretty much putting $50 bills in a piggy bank, say accumulating points as you learn the systems, right? Get that direction. There is a money back guarantee, but I haven't had anyone claim it in 2.5 years, which is really exciting. Why? Because people feel the transformation. Sorry, there's a bigger version of that. But this is exciting. And if you've been patching, you wouldn't need your glasses possibly. So you would have seen the last slide. Okay, so you want to go and check out some more information on the technology. What I would suggest is that you go to the testimonials tab, as well as the doctor's talks, and you actually look at the specific ailments and conditions that have been listed and check out some of the testimonies there. When you activate your GHKCU, which is your copper peptide that Rosemary was talking about, and you start to waken up your sleepy stem cells, there are really cool things that happen, right? Unexplainably cool things. You might not feel them. You might not feel your blood pressure going down. You might not feel your hair growing. You might not feel your eyesight changing. You might not feel your adrenal glands restoring. You might not feel your inflammation going, but you will recognize the absence of things. Now, from a training point of view, we have the full McDonald's gold standard system, and that was created by Steve and Gina Merritt. The generosity of this couple and their heart for helping others break free is just remarkable. So they've actually taken this even up another notch, and they've put this entire training platform on School, which is an app that you can go through step by step with 3 to 4 minute instructional videos on how to do everything you would need to do in the business, which is so incredibly exciting. So these guys have simplified it. They've given us a lot of resources. and they've really set up these conferences for us internationally so that we can go and learn the information fast. Now, why do you want to do that? Well, because you've got two choices. You can either do the business slow or do it fast. It's a lot more fun when you do it fast. It's just a lot more fun. And because you're starting to share with others, you're going to get all that beautiful feedback. So I don't know what is your why. You might just be sitting here on this call going, oh, how the hell did I land here with these people about this crazy biohacking, patented life-changing technology. But you can just claim your health. So if you just want to feel a bit better, I just ask you to go back to the person that shared this information and this event with you and just say, I'm ready to get started. I really want to claim my health. And they will pick and support you in choosing the best package for what your goals are. And if you're wanting to do the business, we have some of the most extraordinary training systems. You could be like me, you might just resist it, but it has an energy of its own. People will start to realize that you look better, and they're going to say, I'm telling you now, they're going to say, what is going on? And just on cost, I just want to cover something, because there's two big things here. If you've ever suffered from a chronic health condition, which I have, but if you hear Rosemary's story, she's now working. Now, I've got a household of children and husband who have all had the man flu this week. It's very serious. They've had it for 2 weeks. Now, I patch very faithfully. It's something that I've habit stacked. I'm very aware of the technology. I'm very aware of what it does. Now, I haven't gotten the cough, which has meant that I haven't had any time off work, which has meant that I've actually paid, theoretically, by not having time off work in winter, for 3 months worth of product. Because we sometimes go, oh, it's too expensive. Well, how do we feel when we don't feel optimized? And what opportunities are we missing by not being able to say yes to things that are truly life-changing, either financially or with our health, or even in a relationship when we're not feeling great? So I just ask you to have a little think about when you're quantifying your cost element to this. Is $6 a day worth it? Well, absolutely. And we can show you very quickly how to recover the cost of your product so that you're not out of pocket. And that's what we want for you, so that you can take your mind off, is this costing me, and start to really focus on, who can I help? Who can I think of that would benefit from this? Who has a sore knee? Who has multiple chemical sensitivity? Who has this? Who has that? And so, yeah, go back to the people that shared with you. We thank you for your time tonight. Thank you, Fiona. Thank you for Rosemary for sharing. We can't wait to do this with you. So wherever you're ready, just go back to that person and just say, hey, I'm ready to get started, or tell me more, or send me the websites, and we will navigate that with you. All right, guys, bless ya.
Thank you.